Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. We finally got all the emblems from the latest time capsule. Let's take a look. Let us start with the Zod emblem. Technically the Zod emblem that you see on the banners behind me is not part of the time capsule, but it is on the new set of gear that is inspired by the evil General Zod. So you do have the emblem on the gear. You cannot remove the emblem from the gear. The emblem is built into the gear. The most you can do is change the color of the emblem, but the emblem is built into the gear. So in a roundabout ways, you do have the Zod emblem in the time capsule. But if you want to have the actual Zod emblem, you will have to take a look at the broker. So let us start with the Kryptonian Descendant emblem. So this is the enhanced version. So this is pretty much the Superman 1 million emblem. It comes from the DC 1 million event we had in Justice League way back when Grant Morrison was writing the Justice League. Although originally the emblem was a bit different, the line on top was a small line like at the bottom, so you had a small line, a bigger line, and a smaller line. But then later when Frank Whiteley did draw the character, it did change the emblem to what you're seeing right now. And this here is the regular version of the emblem. So I've equipped a whole bunch of stuff where we can actually see the emblem of the character. Although on the drapes I still have the enhanced version, so I will just use the enhanced version on the drapes. So now we do have an official emblem to recreate Superman 1 million. And next we have the Kryptonian flag emblem. So here we have the enhanced version. It comes from the storyline where basically they freed all the Kryptonians from Kandor. I think it was called the New Krypton storyline. So basically there was 100,000 Kryptonian who were trying to recreate the Krypton somehow. And of course it led to some conflict between the Kryptonian and the Earth, and Superman had to pick sides. Decisions. Was he going to take the side of the Kryptonians, the side of the humans on Earth? And obviously this is the regular version of the emblem. And here we have the Kryptonian military emblem. I think it comes from that same New Krypton storyline. So technically it was an emblem for the evil General Zod and his troops. Although I haven't read that storyline in like 10 years, so I could be misremembering. So here you can see what the regular version of the emblem looks like. And next we have the Kryptonian Prime emblem. It also comes from the DC 1 million storyline. Basically it was the emblem of Superman Prime. So for some reason Superman went to hide into the sun, and he stayed there for, I don't know, 1,000 years, and then when he came out of there, he was Superman Prime. And here we have the regular version of the emblem. So both versions looks fine, although there's a bit of shiny bits and a tiny bit of animation in the enhanced version. And of course now we have an official emblem to create the most powerful Superman of them all, Superman Prime. And there's also the Last Sun material that could be used. Sadly I don't have it just yet, but the gold material with the Scorching Aura works well enough. And next we have the enhanced Kryptonian, I would say key, but I think it's pronounced G. In short, it is the emblem of Chinese Superman. I don't remember if it was for the New 52 or for Rebirth, but at some point they decided to add a comic with a whole bunch of Chinese versions of the DC characters, and this was the emblem for Chinese Superman. And the Chinese Superman got his own comic somehow, and this was his emblem. Although I should say it's one of the emblems he had. He did change costumes a couple of times. And there's even one version of the emblem that was like a sort of yin-yang symbol in a Superman symbol. And here we have the regular version of the emblem. So one of the things that seems to make people very happy is that now we are going to get quite a few options for a Superman emblem if you want to create a Superman type character. So with this emblem we can create a pretty good version of Chinese Superman. And next we have the Kryptonian Sunshine Superman. Long before we had Val-Zod, long before we had Calvin Ellis, heck, even long before we had Steel, we had Sunshine Superman. Somehow Grant Morrison was able to bring him back in the Multiversity comics. He's now the Superman of Earth 47. So here, this is the regular version of the emblem. We could already recreate the Sunshine Superman using the Superwoman emblem, but now we do have an official Sunshine Superman emblem. And next we have the Kryptonian Super Demon. It's basically a sort of stylized Superman emblem for Etrigan from Earth 13 or something like that. So here we have the regular version of the emblem, and full disclosure, I barely remember the storyline, so I just vaguely remember Etrigan was came from Earth Camelot or something like that, and somehow he had a Superman emblem for some reason. And next we have the Kryptonian Super Doom. Basically, though, it was a weird version of a clone of Doomsday and Superman. It's been at least 10 years since I read the storyline, so I barely remember it. I guess there are some storylines that are more memorable than others. Like there's some storyline like the Juice contract that I read, I don't know, 30 years ago that I still remember. And sadly, there's some storyline like from the New 52 from 10 years ago. I barely remember it. And the Super Doomsday emblem kind of works to recreate the evil Overman. Whenever you collect any of the enhanced emblems, they do give you a feat. Usually it's a 2-star feat. There's also a feat if you collect all the regular version of the emblem. And there's a feat if you collect all the enhanced version of the emblems. And I can already hear you ask, where can you get those emblems? They come from the brand new Kryptonian General Time Capsule. Although when you look at the description, somehow the emblems are not listed, but that is where they come from. But if you don't want to open Time Capsule, no problem, you can also purchase the emblems from the broker. So you could purchase the enhanced or the regular version if you want to. The emblems are not that expensive. Although there's the Kryptonian G emblem that somehow is a bit more expensive than the rest. But if you do play the broker just a bit, you should be able to purchase those emblems. And I have to give my usual broker warning, prices on the broker changes all the time. So these are the prices on the broker right now. Tomorrow, next week, next month, and later tonight, the prices could be different. And I should mention that the classic Superman emblem is back. You can get it from our friend the Tempest Huguenot here in the House of Legends. It will cost you 150 source marks. And also, once you purchase it for one of your characters, then you can unlock it for every character in your account. So there you go, guys. So there's a whole bunch of Superman related emblems that have been added to the game. So if you've been meaning to join the Superman Corps, the time is now.